At the opening round of the season, there was carnage on the streets of Adelaide.
Whoa! Oh, what's going on there?
But at the front, it was again a race between two.
Harris is coming in hot. Oh no, he's in the fence. He's thrown it away.
Last year's champ is again #1. But there's a long season ahead, and no doubt much more chaos to come. This is round 2 of the East Coast Bullbars V8 Ute Series.
Yeah, it's been a long wait since round #1 in Adelaide, and across the Nullarbor we go to find this little pot of gold. Perth and blue skies greeting us at Barbagallo Raceway for round 2 of the East Coast Bullbars V8 Ute Series. 28 of these utes ready to go. Well, they'll go racing across 3 races this weekend, including the very popular reverse grid race #2. Looking forward to that one. We've got some local drivers to watch out for, including Adam Marjoram and also Reece McNally. But they're all chasing Chris Walton, defending champ. He's carrying some ballast this weekend. So too is this guy, Raul Harris. But before we go racing, let's check out how everything's stacking up with Kylie King.
The season opener in Adelaide showcased just how much these drivers play for keeps in the hunt for race wins and championship glory. Craig Dontis and Reece McNally among those who raced hard, neither of them backing off, Dontis coming off second best in this impact.
Someone's going to be eating concrete here.
I don't think it's going to happen. Neither boy is going to lift, and it puts Dontis in the fence.
I think Reece would say, I should have backed off, and I say, Reece should have backed off. We were kind to each other going in. It was just on the exit. We probably didn't look after each other enough, and it would have been good for TV if we got through too wide and fought on, and that's what I was thinking. But at the end of the day, these things happen. We're pushing hard, and we'll press on for Perth.
It's one of those things, you know, I'm never out there to put anybody in the wall, but at the same time, if you go too wide through turn 8, it's never going to work. So quite easily could have been me. Unfortunately, it happened. You know, I don't intentionally do that to people, but at the same time, if you put yourself in those positions, I think it's a bit of a risk you have to take. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
This category always produces hard luck stories. Cameron Wilson left with nowhere to go when Jared McLeod's windscreen flicked up. The Adelaide round also produced a controversial collision. Jeff Fain suspended from all CAMS events until the end of the year after this hit on Bruce Oakland's. In the battle for the round win, Raul Harris and Chris Walton traded blows all weekend until a rare mistake from Harris put Walton in front, effectively handing him victory.
Oh no, he's in the fence.
Just went in a little bit too hard and obviously slid wide and let Chris through. But we've chased him down, set a new lap record. So we've got plenty of speed this year. Matt Stone Racing, they prep the car so well. So it's just about, you know, it's early days. We've got 7 rounds left. So October's when it starts getting serious, and hopefully we're still at the front by then.
The Harris-Walton rivalry looks set to continue in Perth. Perhaps Walton will have the upper hand after winning 2 out of 3 races last year to claim the round win here.
We probably drive very similar. We just drive hard every race, so it's going to come down to who's going to falter during the year. There's going to be a mistake made by some of us or both of us. So I'm pretty much waiting for him to make a mistake because I'm going to be with him, either in front of him or just behind him, and he's thinking the same thing as me, I suppose.
Third in the championship, George Midiki will benefit from former series champion Grant Johnson joining the team this weekend.
We welcome it. You know, he's definitely a local expert, and he knows what he's doing around here, and hopefully he can bring something to the party because, you know, Ryle and I obviously fighting pretty hard with Chris Walton for the title at the moment, so push on, see what happens.
Adam Marjoram put in his best result in Adelaide, clinching 5th overall, and returns to his home track, keen to continue the charge.
5th is really good, a personal best for us in a round finish. However, it could have been a lot better. Unfortunately, we stalled it off the 3rd in the last race. Went all the way back down to 26th or so and came through for 9th. So really good. We had speed all weekend and improved a lot from last year. So really keen to continue the trend.
Armour All Pole Position Award, and for the first time since here in 2012, it goes to Kim Jane. It's only his 3rd ever pole position in over 90 events, and he claimed pole by nearly 3/10. He gets $1,000 thanks to Armour All 3 Erebus cars inside the top 10 in qualifying. So it's looking like Kim the Assassin Jane will be the man to beat once again here in Perth. The boys are loading up, and we are nearly ready to go racing on the other side of this break. It's round 2, the East Coast Bullbars V8 Utes.
This round, we profile a driver caught up in a controversial crash in the opening round of the V8 Ute Racing Series in Adelaide, Bruce Oaklands.
What I love about the V8 Utes is the average punter, Holden versus Ford rivalry through generations, and it's a great place to be. It's really funny being part of Cedars Racing because, A, we're all mates, and then the helmets go on and it's open slather and no one really cares. So friendships can stay before and after, but on the track, it's everyone for themselves. My most memorable moment is Clipsal. I'm the guy who got put into the wall by Mr. Fain. What I recall from the incident, I was coming onto the straight, had an opportunity to pass him on the inside. I thought I gave him plenty of room. I don't think we even touched. And next minute, I'm just getting drilled into the wall. Happened so quick, I don't know what else to say. It's just, I can't believe it happened, and I still have trouble believing that it happened.
It was a wild moment. Unfortunately, Oakland spent a little bit of time at the doctor's surgery, getting his elbow and ankle fixed, as I send a big warm welcome to Matt Nolte into the commentary box here for the Utes, round number 2. The boys are lining up for the reverse grid race. Before we do that, Matt, let's break it down exactly how it all happened in race number 1. It was a battle between the front 4.
There's never been any quiet races here, Chad, as we ride on board with Lee Nicolau, as he made up a couple of places here in the opening laps.
Yeah, Chris Walton also trying to get his way back into the field. This was a nice little battle. Listen for the contact here between Miedeke and Fisher. Oh, there it is. And also Ryle Harris picking up a couple of early spots. He qualified back in 11th.
Mason Barbera on the outside of Andrew Fisher through turn 1, as Kim Jane held back some pretty tough battles here between Cedars and Hansford.
And also Grant Johnson in the all-purpose pest control Ute, right on the back of that front 4, but congratulations to Kim Jane, his 14th career race win. Season tie Cranbrook and Baxter now 6 on the all-time winners list. Now over 90 starts in the series. Kim Jane, winner from David Cedars. That's Cedars' best result in a Holden. Also took Tony Longhurst's lap record. Ryan Hansford wrapping up the top 3. But let's hear from our race 1 winner, Kim Jane.
Kim Jane, you had pole and they put the pressure on you, but you stood firm.
They certainly did. We got a great start and, led into turn 1. After that, we concentrated on, not getting aggressive and trying to drive away, but just keep them in, behind us and look after the tyres, because I thought if we do that, we're going to be strong at the end. We were strong at the end, made a couple of little mistakes here and there, put myself under pressure, but, got to be happy with the win.
Kim Jane's first win since Darwin last year, the reverse grid race, and now it is time for the reverse grid race. And how about this, Matt? Mason Barbera, 17 years old, the youngest driver in the field, off pole position.
Yeah, talk about pressure. He's got George Miedeke alongside him here. Of course, we're reversing the top 10, so Kim Jane starts out of 10 for this one. Always a mixed bag, and I have this feeling, I get this every now and then, we could have carnage in the first corner.
Chris Walton picked up a 5-second penalty for curb hopping in race 1, so he'll come out of the mid-pack. So it truly is reverse grid racing. Also some fast guys towards the back, like Charlie Kovacs, and also Adam Beachy, one to watch. He was quite good at the first round in Adelaide. The green flag waves. It's time to go racing here at Barbagallo Raceway. The reverse grid race. Mason Barbera on the left-hand side needs to get away. Horribly nervous about him stalling on the grid like we saw Adam Marjoram do in Adelaide. And outside him, George Miedeke, set to go racing here in Perth. He's ticked the first box, a nice clean start. And Barbera looking across to Miedeke, squeezing over a little bit too far there. Oh, they made contact, and the ISEC Ute slides out wide. And this also puts McNally up the inside. He'll pick up 1 or 2 spots. Actually goes to the lead. I think Barbera's got a problem.
How did they hold on through 1? They were 3 wide as they sort themselves out. Barbera's off the track here.
He's got a puncture. The left rear tyre's gone flat. The Mini Quip Ute has lost it from the pole position. So much disappointment for the young fella. And they're still warring away in the background, but McNally is the leader as they plunge down towards turn 6 for the first time. Oh, it is on in a big way. Bazadzik facing the wrong way. Burnett's completely missing the left rear. And I think that was Jordan Skinner involved. This will surely bring out the safety car.
Track is blocked into 67 off down the bottom turn here also.
Jeremy Gray, collateral damage of what was a very busy first corner.
That.
Goodness me.
That's unheard of.
Snap the axle clean in half. That has to be off Burnett's car. Bit of circle work from the Western General Bodyworks car, which you probably need a little bit of body work after that one.
Here's the replay of the start. This is where I thought it might have unloaded when Harris went to the outside here and 1 in the 58.
Barbera just needed to leave more room there. He came across too far. Miedeke was the innocent victim out of all that. He got slotted back a few spots, and by that stage the damage was done for Mason Barbera. That left rear was flat. Oh, what happened to Jeremy Gray?
On board with Dontis.
Champion spark plugs on board. Let's break down what happened. Clean start for the Erebus driver. He came over to block his line. There's Gray behind him. Tap, tap, Walton and Bazadzik.
No.
Oh, pretty hard to point the finger there.
Yeah, dispatched accordingly into the deep sand here in the west.
He recently bought himself a pub, Jeremy Gray, outside of Musselbrook in New South Wales. I'm pretty sure he would need a visit to calm himself down after that one. Now, Fisher and Dontis went the whole way through here side by side. There's the strand of Mason Barbera. And around go the back markers in chaotic fashion. Oh! Busy first lap, fair to say.
This might be a better view from behind. This is Marjoram on board with. There's the field scattered going into one. Harris hung tough in the middle here. You don't see cars go 3 wide in turn 1 and get away with it. And this is when Barbera started to slow down. It was the flat left rear tyre on the Mini-Quip sponsored number 17. Marjoram gives him the get out of the way signal.
Okay, so what happened in the mid-pack? Burnett. Oh, got a bit of airtime as well. Skinner and Bazadzik were all leaning on each other there. Hard to really see if there was a spark that started the fire. Riding on board with Lee Nicola now. Ferroto on board. Now, Burnett's in front of him. He's the guy who gets airborne here. As Nicola picks up 3 spots. Do you go high? Do you go left? Nice choice. Only lost the 1 spot as a result. Richard Mork, the beneficiary there. So typically chaotic start to the reverse grid race here at Barbagallo Raceway. Quick ad break. Send them racing once again on the other side of this. Welcome back to Perth. It's the East Coast Bullbars V8 Ute Series. Race 2 restart, ready to go. And it's going to be the local boy, the Stratco driver. Reece McNally leads us back to the green flag, and in the background it's already on Fisher and Jane, the over 40s club, getting into each other in the mid-pack.
Didn't even get back to the start line before the carnage unleashed. Hanson on the inside of Marjoram, who finds the dust on the outside of turn 1. It's McNally that leads. On board with Marjoram. Not again. And Marjoram's done a few laps around here now. Knows he can't go too wide through that part of the track.
Gives that one up to the multi-spares Wabco Ute. 33-year-old Ryan Hansford expecting his first child in the very near future, so good luck with all that to Hansford and his girlfriend as we go down towards turn 6. Harris had a bit of a look and McNally got defensive.
So the front row's been dispatched. Now the second row leads this race as Jane and Fisher continue on with that argument we saw on the main straight. On board with Fisher now.
Dontis has a run on his teammate. Interesting to see how he plays this one. He's got the Armour All pole position winner on his outside as we go down the hill towards turn 7. Green flag racing continuing, and look at this. We've also got Walton now starting to move up 1 or 2 spots as a result to all the carnage. Auto 1 Ute takes the curbs and covers his line. He's got his boss from the V8 Ride Days in behind him right now, Grant Johnson, 2-time champion of the series, 2-time event winner here in Perth.
He's done more laps in the field combined times 10.
There is your points leader carrying 40 kilos of ballast. The man who won 2 races in the event here last year for Rentco. Talking about Chris Walton, although he's looking like giving up the championship lead here right now. As a matter of fact, he's already done that in race 1, to be honest. It's just about damage control because the man second in the race is the points leader now. Talking about Ryle Harris, the Queenslander, who's now driving this Tequila Sunrise Ute, we're calling it. It's the Holidays for Life entry. And, it's tight down there at 6. Johnson.
Marjoram grabs the gear, plenty of opposite lock and continues on.
There's a busy little Renko on board, and he actually got a great run out of turn 6 there. He wants to get over and cover the line down the hill here. That's what he's doing.
Look, the field stacking up. They come down to 7. So we've got about 5 Utes involved in this now. Fisher's going to be hung out here. And Jane, your winner of race number 1, as Fisher decides to go the opposite side of the curb. Of course, a curb infringement's in place this weekend, should you go across there.
Yeah, 3 pings and you get a 5-second penalty, which is what happened to Walton. The very busy Renko Ute at the back here. Big thanks to Renko for dragging the V8 Utes truck all around the countryside for the 8 rounds of our championship. The next stop, sunny shores of Darwin. Looking forward to that one very much in the middle of winter.
We certainly do go to some cool places, or warm places if you like, with Darwin and Townsville coming up on the schedule.
I tell you what, the 2 leaders here, Matt, pushing away nicely, working together. McNally, still the race leader. Watch Grant Johnson here. He has so much speed in that Ute. Oh, up the inside, he's just going to make that one work. That Ute has won 8 out of the last 16 races in the series. Roll Harris has stepped out of it. Now Grant Johnson back in for what's looking like being a one-show-only sort of deal. And look at this from Cedars up the inside.
Driving defensively. You don't want to give too much more space across there. He's going to lose the run down here into 7. As Dontas fancies a shot on the inside of Jane as Fisher does the same to him. This is great racing in race 2. And Dontas pushed off the track there.
Hasn't been a great start to the year for Fisher as we ride on board with him. Yokohama on board, and he's got Walton all over the back of him as well. Just the one top 10 finish so far this season for Andrew Fisher. That came in race 3 on the streets of Adelaide. He's now doing that operation all in-house. He's left the Cedars racing team, based south of Sydney. He's also got a few stops locally after this race meeting. A couple of school appearances, doing his life choices speeches. Talking to high school students, he sees about 30 to 40,000 kids throughout the year, giving them lectures, all off his own back, I might add. On the race for the lead is on.
Challenge is on, and they've just rubbed slightly here, McNally. So that was the first real sign that Harris looks racy here in the 58.
He's given up a little bit of speed as a result of that. The gap opens back up. By the way, Matt, 2 minutes 30 remaining in the race due to that safety car. It was scheduled to be a 14-lap race. Looks like it will be time certain now.
Be lucky to get probably 2 more laps in here, as that field behind is now at least 10 Utes. As Killer Walton climbs the curbs, so we start lap 10.
Chris Walton went for a ride in a sprint car at the Perth Motorplex on Wednesday night. So too did Ryan Hansford. I think he appreciates anything that's got a V8 motor in it. He'd also appreciate if Andrew Fisher got out of the way right now. This is not the place to go doing it, Chris. Oh, and some smoke starting to appear out of the back of the Jesus Racing for Life Ute.
Is that a tyre?
Oh, it's getting worse, whatever it is. You know what? I won't be surprised if it's something slippery, judging by Walton's body language there through the long left-hander. Look how much of a gap he gave up there. Could be oil of some form, maybe even power steering fluid as we pick up the guys towards the front.
Here we go.
Renko on board with the Menace, the local boy, going alongside another very experienced local campaigner. He's got a great run down the hill.
Not a good career move passing the boss, one would recommend here, but this is what Adam Marjram's about. He's looking really good this weekend.
Nice move. We're going to go 2x2 through turn 7, and they all lean on each other over the curb. Good racing, boys, are having at it in the reverse grid race. The battle for third is alive, and the Ryco rocket is in there too. Jared McLeod as Johnson locks the right front on approach down towards turn 1, but he hangs onto that spot in front of Adam Marjram.
This is good stuff. That was the formation stuff going into turn 7. That's now Marjram. I think that could be a wounded tyre, perhaps on Johnson's car.
Johnson's got a problem here. It's the right front.
Gone.
And there he goes. The all-purpose pest control Ute is out of here.
That's a long way down the other side. In fact, he'll have a lot of trouble picking this car up.
Just hang a right and take the hill back down.
Why not?
It's the Mario Kart shortcut. Position number 1. The leader's still going at it. And this battle for third continues. Jared McLeod having a weekend to remember. His best race 1 result, best qualifying result. And he's looking good for a top 3 finish here as the smoke gets even thicker.
Walton just wants to get past here. Whatever it is, it's not slowing the power down of the Jesus-sponsored entry. As Walton gingerly heads down the inside here. That one still can't get past.
That would suggest to me, Matt, that this would be power steering, because it's certainly not slow in a straight line. But look at that, really struggling to get the car turned.
Yeah, I think you're right. Meantime, Marjram down the inside of George Miedeke this time. The iSeek 35. And Marjram goes up another place here. Gets him inside the top 5 now, so you'd think there might be one more lap to go after this, as the Auto 1 sponsored Ute is looking real racy today.
Hasn't Miedeke been a breath of fresh air since moving over to Matt Stone Racing? He's got David Cedars in behind him here in the Mango Credit Union Ute, as the leaders are still having at it down towards turn 6. Oh, McNally really struggled to get that car stopped and turned.
I'd call that maximum pressure from Harris. He's been threatening to do this for a couple of laps now. And the word has gone through. They've got one more lap to go.
So he's only got 8 corners to get around the Stratco Ute. This would be one of them. Turn 6 and turn 7, the best passing opportunities. The Holidays for Life Ute Needs to be very patient here, but still, when you've only got a lap to do it, you've got to make your mind up as to which corner you're going to make your move. Further back, Marjoram now has caught McLeod, making the most of using his 2 good tyres in this race out of Marjoram. This is tight. Hansford in the multi-spares ute should make that move stick up the inside.
Let's watch it from Dontas' point of view. They still go side by side, and Hansford hangs tough. This is brilliant.
That was tough racing from Kim Jane, winner of the first ever NASCAR race here back in 1999. Did not want to give up that spot and should be hanging on to the event points lead at the moment. Chris Walton struggling to catch these guys. It's just not been the weekend for Killer after the success that he had here last year. Last time in the bowl for race 2.
What's Marjoram got for us meantime? The leaders, the long downhill run, this back straight around Barbagallo Raceway. Has Harris got anything here for McNally?
We know he's good under brakes, but even he thinks he's too far back. He'll hang on to a front row start though for the final race, but Reece McNally in front of the home crowd, the family, the friends, everyone. He claims the race 2 victory. Winner of Bathurst last year, continuing his form in 2015. And Jared McLeod will just sneak home. And further back, Lee Nicolau side by side with Cam Wilson. Good racing back there, just outside the top 10.
An amazing finish to the 3rd and 4th position, only 0.06 of a second separating Marjoram and McLeod. But this guy is your winner in race 2 at Barbagallo Raceway in front of the home crowd.
He's had to use his tyres. He had problems in practice, actually broke a radiator. They spent all their tyres in qualifying, but it doesn't matter right now. That will take him to 2nd in the points in terms of the championship. Raul Harris home for 2nd there, pushed him the whole way. Killer just snuck inside the top 10. Let's hear from our winner.
Reece, that had a bit of everything. You even had Raul Harris hot on your heels, but well done.
Yeah, definitely. Raul kept me honest. I think our cars were faster in different parts of the track, but yeah, to get the win's absolutely awesome. Obviously, it's my home event. We had a not quite the start to the weekend we would have liked. We struggled a little bit with our setup and a few tyre issues, so to get a win's a great step forward, and looking forward to tomorrow.
Well, here we'll have pole position for the final race of the weekend. We're going to go off to an ad break, but you don't want to miss the final race. 7 drivers in contention for the round win.
A company renowned for manufacturing the world's toughest alloy bull bars has joined forces with the Australian V8 Ute Racing Series. East Coast Bullbars has signed a 3-year naming rights partnership as the series embarks on a new direction.
With the move to the SUV Ute next year with the Holden Colorado style or Ford Ranger style of vehicle, obviously that's our customer. So for us, it's a really exciting opportunity. We can then put our brand on the vehicles in which the Bullbars are going on to in the first place. So it's a perfect fit, fantastic synergies, and we're really looking forward to that change.
East Coast Bullbars have been manufacturing bull bars in Australia since 1971 with a focus on high performance and durability.
So for us, it's a formula that we've perfected over the last 40 years. It's come to a signature DNA where we have the maximum strength possible from design and also the materials that we use being high tensile alloy. The end result is a product that is really built to work, it's really built to perform. It's an alloy bull bar that really does its job.
The V8 Ute Racing Series is pleased to welcome another significant Australian brand to the category.
The East Coast Bullbars is a great fit for the Australian V8 Ute Racing Series, especially with our unique style of racing.
For more info, head to the V8 Utes website.
Time for what will be a fantastic last race because we've got 7 drivers in contention of the round win. And Matt, a lot of guys chasing Kim Jane, who's high on points right now, but the bad news for him, he's got to come out of position number 7 with this unusual format that we're running this weekend.
You'd think it wasn't too bad a place to be, but look at the names ahead of him here. 6 of those guys looking to take down championship honours this weekend in Perth. Some guys with a lot of work overnight. In fact, the replaced gearbox in the Jeremy Gray entry after that incident in the sand trap yesterday, so he's got a fair bit of work to do from the back of the field. Unfortunately for Rick Gill, though, he's not going to start today, the local Perth racer. Woke up feeling a bit dizzy this morning.
He actually had to spend the night in hospital as a result of that too. So Grant Johnson coming off the back, talking about local racers like Rick Gill. There is the vacant grid spot alongside Danny Bazadzik, who was excluded from race 2. The officials saw that he was at fault, we'll say, for a lot of the carnage that went on. Tough decision, that one. Final race for the weekend, and it's McNally and Harris on the front row together. We believe that they have the worst tyres out of the front pack, so this should be very interesting. There's a stall at the back, but everyone gets around him. And Harris has won the start and beaten the Stratco Ute down to turn 1. Marjoram wants to go the long way. Can he hang tough?
It was Cam Wilson that headed to the grass the first time round. Charlie Kovacs works his way around in the Air Road 69, but look at the gap Harris has already.
What a great start, Roll Harris. We know how good he is on old tyres. And look at this for a battle. Hansford right up behind Jane, pushing him around the corner. Dontis will be hung out to dry, Talladega style, but he fights back through the right-hand king. Good racing on the first lap, much cleaner than race 2.
Almost adjusting the mirrors down there in turn 5 as that battle continues on. Jane this time. Poolsey, Bob Jane, T-Mart's entry back in, and this conga line of chaos heads down the back straight of Barbagallo.
He's up behind the Mango credit holder to David Cetus, who's second in the points at the moment and on for a potential podium. Wilson and Walton side by side down the hill. Wilson will have the inside run, and he moves over and squeezes the Renko Ute wide. Opens up the door for Beachy.
Gee, it's lap 1.
Oh, but it is the last race. Harris leads the first lap from McNally. And this is setting itself up nicely because the guys with the older tyres are at the front here. McLeod and Jane have both kept a couple of spare tyres clean for this race.
Jeremy Gray working his way through the field on the back of Fisher here. Changing the gearbox overnight.
Former teammates, those two, probably just full of sand after being punted off very unceremoniously in the first corner. Riding on board right now with Fisher. This is the Yokohama on board, looking back to Jeremy Gray. Patience on the throttle, isn't it, through there, especially when these tyres are getting old and sludgy, which they do very quickly around here. It's Grant Johnson up the middle now, taking a spot away from Kiwi Peter Ward. Johnson's come flying through the field at the moment. Remember, he started, I think, on the 11th or 12th row. He's cutting through this field.
Did a Will Lyman to that car last night. Was out by about 10 mil on the Johnson car, so
it's a lot. 10 mil might not sound like a lot, but that goes to show the kind of contact that he had with Adam Marjoram. Marjoram was given a bit of a slap on the wrist for that move. Actually clean broke the rim as well for Grant Johnson. He's pushing through this field in a big way as we've got the multi-spares Ute pushing the Just Car Kit and Car Care products Dontis around the corner.
And look at the way now that Harris has fallen back to these guys here, McNally and McLeod. So three-way battle here. Keep in mind, these guys are in line for round honours.
Now, Jared McLeod looking for his first ever podium in the series. He's in the Ryco Ute. He's kept a couple of spare tyres for this race, and he might just have a chance under brakes. He makes that stick up the inside, locks a tyre, but nice move to Jared McLeod. The Victorian moves to second in the race, then looking down the barrel of his first ever podium.
Hope that wasn't one of the good tyres.
It wasn't. The good tyres are on the left-hand side. That's right, you can smoke up the right side. Around here, it's not going to hurt the turn in. Look, they're all on the defensive side, down towards turn 1. Raoul Harris mirror driving with a good 11 laps to go. Is that Mediki on the outside?
It is.
It was brave. He's about to get a lot closer in that window.
Remember, these two had a great battle in race 2 when Marjoram started carving his way through the field. McNally driving down the middle of the racetrack, as he's entitled to do.
See, McNally's hurting here. His tyres were spent in qualifying. By the time they get through to race 3, he's really struggling for grip. Started, remember, in pole position, and he's falling back. So Jane and McLeod were the two drivers that kept a spare set of tyres up their sleeve, or at least 2 tyres. You get 6 for the weekend. You're going to stretch that across 3 races. It's heating up. Final race for the weekend. Harris, the race leader. McLeod and Marjoram looking very good in the final race of the weekend. A quick break. Back with more soon. Welcome back to the west side in WA. Round 2 of the East Coast Bullbars V8 Utes, and we've got a Queenslander leading a Victorian from a couple of Perth lads. It's Raoul Harris out in the point at the moment, riding on board with the South Aussie.
There's Dontis trying to work through his Marjoram. I think he's got the better tyres here, Chad. I'm going to put it out there right now. This guy could be at the pointy end, which he is now. We'll check out an East Coast Bullbars replay of the start.
Oh, the Cinepec is Mason Barbera, young man from Bundaberg. Stalled it on the start line. Gee, imagine if he did that in race 2, it would have been carnage.
Absolutely. Look at this 3 wide. It's a narrow racetrack at the best of times.
Wow.
And it's Kovacs on the outside. The wily veteran just sits back and lets the boys play it out in front of him.
Oh, yeah. Left mirror getting a bit of a touch-up. That's the Yokohama on board with Andrew Fisher as he looks out the window to an ex-teammate in Jero Gray. Had to yield that spot. I tell you what, Wilson was lucky to get away with squeezing Walton here. He could have been very much in the fence or in the sand there.
Whew. And the wall comes up really quickly as Beachy got into the back of Walton at the same time. Back to live shots now as Marjoram is on the back of McLeod.
I reckon McLeod's maybe just gone a bit too aggressive here with his tyre pressures because he was flying through the field in the earlier laps, but he looks to have just lost that early momentum. And Marjoram, who used his 2 good tyres in the reverse grid race, has probably looked after him quite nicely and still has a lot of car speed to go on with here. And there's no doubt that Harris has used everything he's got up until this point.
Lock of the brake for Harris. This is smoke signals to everyone behind that this guy might be in tyre troubles now. McLeod gets all sorts of out of shape. Down the basin here at turn 6.
That was Jared seeing a gap. He thought I might have half a chance, and he just got a little bit too aggressive on the right pedal. Lit up those rears as a result. And look at Harris. He has put that ute in the middle of the racetrack. That's John Bow-esque driving. No one's getting around the Holidays for Life ute, at least not easily. As good run out of the last corner. Marjoram, McLeod caught napping, is going to lose second position here.
Marjoram will get the pass done here as McNally fancies a shot on the inside. Door slam shut in McNally's face.
McNally just hasn't got the tyre life to make that point. And this has put now Marjoram up to a potential first ever podium. Wow, this has just been a bit of pass the parcel with the trophies this weekend. Kim Jane needing to finish 4th to win the round, languishing outside this front pack, and as it stands, Royal Harris will be stepping onto the top step. Not bad considering it's the first event in that car, the ex-Peter Burnett ute.
You can just see Marjoram seesawing at the wheel there as they come across 5. As down the inside comes Miedeke on McNally. So he goes up a spot now.
And that's going to be a bit of a trend here, I think, for the rest of the weekend. And that's good news for Cedars, because he might be the beneficiary of this little battle. These guys inside the top 5 in the points, McNally and Miedeke. Miedeke so far top 10 in every single race so far in the championship. Same goes Harris and Marjoram, the only 3 drivers to be able to claim that. And just look at the better drive around the outside, and now Cedars will take a spot off his teammate as Marjoram going the slalom style down the front straight.
Living up to the nickname, the Menace, at the end of lap 7. On board with Dontis, who's knocking at the back door for the Stratco entry of Reece McNally.
Champion spark plugs on board as we go curb hopping. You're allowed to do it on those curbs. It's turn 5 and 7 that you're not allowed to get aggressive on.
I wouldn't like to hit those curbs at the best of times.
Great weekend for all 3 Erebus drivers qualifying inside the top 10, including Kim Jane taking out that Armour All Pole Position Award. There is the Bob Janes T-Marts, Altenzo, Sharkbait, many sponsors on that ute. Sitting behind the pack there as Hansard picks up that spot now of Dontis on the dirty side of the racetrack. The Just Car Insurance ute's not going to get much drive out there. So we ride back on board. Champion spark plugs on board as he looks over to the left mirror. It'll be busy out there.
But straight away, Hansford goes on a defensive. So we've got some 2-wide action happening with Jane, the pole sitter, his first one since Darwin.
And Grant Johnson, the evergreen Grant Johnson, has just gone around Kim Jane, who started at a position number 7. Incredible, he's still got it. Oh, patience on the throttle there, Adam.
So maybe his tyres aren't as good as what I thought they were.
Maybe he's just getting a little bit too lead-footed there, starting to lose patience with being held up by the race leader. I mean, he would just gap the field if he could get around him. But that is a big if right now. It's Johnson going the long way around turn 4, and that is a long way. Let me tell you, that is one of the longest corners we go to anywhere in the country. Gets relegated back behind Kim Jane, and Cam Wilson along for the ride with those guys. Stayed out of trouble this week in Cam Wilson, which is good news. Johnson now goes to the inside of Kim Jane. Wilson with another casual 20 grand fixed job after Adelaide, after that nasty crash we saw earlier with Jared McLeod.
If there was passing points for cars right now, Johnson would be the round winner. After coming from near back of the field is alongside Kim Jane. and will have the better drive in the turns. He slides the all-purpose pest control ute up onto the curbs. And another place up as Marjoram is still Morse coding the back of Ryle Harris here.
He changed tact about 3 or 4 times then, Adam Marjoram. He just couldn't quite make up his mind where he wanted to put the Auto 1 ute. He's got so much speed, like a dog chasing his tail down there in second spot at the moment. He just cannot get around the 2-time champ, Ryle Harris. Harris on the podium here, 4 out of the 5 years we've gone racing. Just cannot get to the top step. Today looks to be the day for Ryle Harris. Oh, there's that curb at 5.
This will be Marjoram's best result if he can hold on to this position. In V8 Utes racing in front of the local fans. He's been up the promotional trail in the past couple of weeks as Johnson takes Jane down the inside past Dontis. You can almost hear the reversing beacon aboard the Just Car Insurance entry.
Oh, you can also hear the rev limiter, as that was saying a big warm welcome to 4th gear.
Stop, you're hurting me.
Wilson getting a little bit taily, trying to get around Dontis now as well. It's a long line of utes, 10 strong. The train continues down the front straight. They all fan out. We're going to duck off to an ad break. You do not want to miss how this one is going to play out. Ryle Harris is just hanging on to the lead, but will he keep it all the way to the flag? We'll find out soon. There's not many laps left here in Perth. Final race of round 2 of the East Coast Bullbars V8 Utes. And Ryle Harris hanging tough at the point.
It's been impressive as Marjoram again closes the gap. And Johnson still coming through the field here. He's into 8th now.
What a drive from the 2-time champ, Grant Johnson. Recently lost the all-time race wins record to the man on the right-hand side of the screen as we take the Renko on board. He's going to go the long way. If you can hang tough there, you're a chance, but he's too worried about losing second spot. That's why he bounces off the curb, decides to abort the move.
So Harris knows he's there. He continues to lead this race, and now there's at least 4 utes battling for the race win here.
And the round win, don't forget. There's a lot at stake. David Cedars on for his best week and actually might be able to snare himself a podium here. If he can just stay out of trouble, the 3rd step beckons for the Mango Credit Ute. For his first time on the podium in a Holden, he's been trialling a couple of new suspension components, which they're looking to place into all the Commodores for the remainder of the season. Dontis still falling back as Cam Wilson has a go down at turn 6. Been plenty of passing this weekend, and while the new format might not be necessarily fair, I mean, we're looking at the first time since Sydney in 2013 that we've had 3 different race winners across the weekend. There was 7 guys fighting for the round victory. You cannot tell me that this isn't entertaining. I like the new format.
And promotes exciting racing, and that's what we come here to see in the East Coast Bullbar Series as Hansford goes down the inside of Johnson. Johnson had him momentarily, and I think he might have him by the end of this lap as Hansford drives defensively on this main straight. 2 to go.
Now, there's only 2 to go, like you mentioned, but I might just throw one more little curveball in there. They're chasing down a lap car. It's Warwick Spooner in the Denani Hot Shots ute. His first race in 6 years. He's fallen off the back of the pack, and I hope that he's looking in his mirrors right now because here come the leaders.
And when he does, he'll be worrying. What's he going to do?
He's going to go in the middle. Harris on the dirt. Oh, and a close moment for Marjoram. He lets out a little scream. I'm not sure if that was fear or frustration, but the order remains the same. That was a heart stopper.
Wow. That could have been massive. I didn't see any blue flags then either. So Spooner was racing his own race and now has moved over to let the field through.
I think that might have been Marjoram's last Hail Mary because he's exhausted his playbook. Without using the bumpers, he is not getting around Ryle Harris today.
Final lap. 2.4 kilometres for Adam Marjoram, staring down the barrel of his first race win in the East Coast Bullbars V8 Utes Series. Here's the replay. The Denani Hot Shots entry, the local West Aussie business on board with Spooner. And look at Marjoram here.
It was a late call, wasn't it, to go over to the left-hand side. And man, it was the Renko on board that was really telling their worrying moment as we follow the leaders home to the checkered flag. The last time through turn 5, has Marjoram got anything left? He's got all his friends from Auto 1 watching on. Meanwhile, Mediki might just pick up 3rd position. He does.
Best
Nice
spot
work.
for him to be in. It's underneath McLeod. So one last chance. You got to say Harris has driven here like a champion.
He's used absolutely all his skill, nous, knowledge, and all 3 mirrors to perfection as he sits frustratingly in the middle of the racetrack once again for Adam Marjoram. Legally, beautifully done. From Raul Harris, he's going to come out of the last corner and win his first ever round in the West. Marjoram chases him to the line, but can't do it. But either way, it's his first podium in the series, and he will be chuffed with that. Mediki home for 3rd as the boys fight away down in the background. McNally picked himself up a 5-second penalty too, so he'll fall outside the top 10. And where's Walton? Not home yet. It's a shocker for the defending champ, as the kid is back in number 1 in the series as well. That was vintage Ute racing. I thoroughly enjoyed that the whole way through. It's Raul Harris, your race and round winner. Marjoram, 2nd in the series, the round, as well as that race. Mediki home for 3rd. We go over the page, and Walton in 18th.
What happened there?
I don't know, but driver of the event so far has to be Grant Johnson. What a drive from him in that one. He ended up passing 15 cars in that race, but we'll check out the event points. Raul Harris, maximising that front row start. Personal best finishes for McLeod and Marjoram. Cedar's first podium in a Holden as well. But let's hear from our event winner, Raul Harris.
Raul Harris, you're a hard man to pass, but it paid off for you.
Yeah, I had to play the defensive game pretty much from the first corner. First lap, I flat spotted the tyre really bad and a bit dirty myself. But, you know, when I won, I've pretty much got the widest ute in Australia. But, you know, I'm really happy for Adam to get his first podium at his home track. And, you know, a lot of pressure from all the Holden guys here. The extra 40 kilos we're carrying, you know, certainly you feel it up the hill. But, you know, I want to carry the 40 for the whole year because I want to lead the championship for the whole year. So, you know, Matt Stone Racing, the car was awesome all weekend.
Time to check out the DBA Hard Breaker Award. It goes to Adam Beachy for his effort in race 2, climbing from 28th to 13th. For the Masters Award this week, it goes to Kim Jane, our Armour All pole position winner, and very unlucky not to win the round. And this is going to be an exciting battle all year long. Lee Nicolau, now our leading rookie for Shamak Racing, but that looks to be going on all the way to Sydney. The points after 2 rounds, Raul Harris is now your sole championship leader. Marjoram jumps to 2nd. How about Chris Walton, the defending champ, all the way down to 6th? Hey, Ryle, I love the retro overalls, very James Hunt. And the next time we'll get to see these guys, round 3, Hidden Valley, come up. It's in June, it's warm, it's beautiful, a great spot for Ute racing. Thanks to Matt Nolte for his help. On behalf of everyone here at the Utes, thanks for watching. We'll see you in Darwin.